Burkina Faso's government Patriotic Support Fund has collected for the past 1 year, from 1st January till 30 December, 175 billion CFA francs. That is the currency of Burkina Faso. This amount is mobilized by the Burkina-based for 1 year. Now, this Patriotic Support Fund is established in January 2023 to respond to emergencies and support the national counterterrorism strategy. The target that has been set by the Patriotic Support Fund for 1 year to collect from the Burkina base was actually 150 billion CFA franc. So they have exceeded that by 25 billion CFA franc. Now, what does it mean? 175 billion CFA franc is around 275.1 millions of dollars, and it's all this fund is mobilized from nationally, from the Burkinabes, from the local sources. This is something, I think a very good example of the power of unity, what it does when people believe in one, in unity, and also when they have a common goal together with their government. Now, how this money was collected from different ways by Burkinabes is we have the breakdown, and I'm going to read it for you. Now, this amount represents a mobilization rate of more than 116% compared to the revised target of 150 billion CFA franc. So more than 16% more than what they have planned, which is 100% was 150 billion CFA franc. So this is 175 billion CFA franc. This was indicated by the Ministry of Economy and Finance of Burkina Faso. The government further explained that the tax levies are the main source, with accounting for 77.1 billion CFA franc, and that is in percentage 46.3. And another thing is what the government of Burkina Faso has done through this reform program is that to control their own natural resources and to increase the share or the stake of the government, for example, in minerals like gold. So that has brought around that has accounts for 24.2 billion CFA franc. And another one is a deduction from public salaries. This is 23.3 billion CFA franc. And then there are levies on telecommunications, which is 20.7 billion CFA franc. Now, according to the Ministry of Economy, voluntary contributions and deductions from private salaries remain marginal, but they represent like 3.5 and 3.6 billion CFA franc respectively. Also, voluntary salary transfer closes the rank with 1.4 billion CFA franc. This Patriotic Support Fund is set up, as I told you, in 2023 to respond that the emergencies for the Burkina Faso's fight against terrorism. This is really, a win for Burkina Faso, and that shows, when they come together, what they can do. So before the Legislative Assembly of the transition, the Prime Minister, Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo, has assured citizens that the combatant forces have recovered 70% of the national territory, quote, this is what he said: "The current rate that is periodically assessed by the intelligence agency is around 70.59%. Quote close. So the prime minister said that, and adding that efforts are being made on the ground to accentuate this trend. Quote again, "This is an assessment that is dynamic, and for some time now we have been witnessing an intensification of the action of combat forces," quote close. So the prime minister also, Prime Minister Ouedraogo, stressed that the government will strengthen the rise of combat forces and their firepower in the theater of operations. If you all remember, when the French military was in Burkina Faso, one of the things really they want to kick out the French military was that with all the equipment that this French military coming in the territory of these sovereign countries, African sovereign countries, one of the main reasons is to fight against it, to fight terrorism. So, but they actually do not reveal all information to the armies, to the national armies. So they hide information. So one of the things that the president of Niger revealed is that they don't tell them where the terrorists are actually located. That has been still secret only to the French military, and that's the main reason to kick them out. So all these allegations that the Sahel Alliance heads of states are revealing, saying that it is the French government actually that trains and equips the terrorists, makes sense, and that has been, after they kicked out, they say they have all the intel how the French government and the French military is training those terrorists in the neighboring countries like Benin. And that's why Niger has closed its border. You have Ivory Coast also, and Togo, but mainly in Benin. And recently also that allegation goes to the accusation to Nigeria, where they say also they have the intel. So these are the reasons. And you can also, connect the dots. The French military and AFRICOM, which is the US military, increased their presence in the Sahel region after Muammar Gaddafi, the late president of Libya, has been removed, which is a NATO force has killed him. We say NATO force, but mainly led by the United States and France. It's after that their military presence increased, and also the number of the terrorist groups in the Sahel region have increased, from year to year. So this tells you that there must be something. The more you bring military or your intelligence equipments and this sophisticated high-tech military equipment, and still you cannot finish the fight against terrorism. So that means there's some kind of connection. If the thing is parallel, when you increase your presence and also they increase, the terrorist groups increase, you just have to connect the dots. But for good reason, and now they have been kicked out. So they are fighting them at least from their territory. And that makes it really easier. And they are trying, the Sahel governments are trying to get those kind of military equipments, what the French government has denied them from other bilateral relations that they are signing, security bilateral relations, mainly with the global south, like Russia and others. So this is really to raise, for me, the capacity of mobilization, the power of mobilization of your own nation. That's what stands out for me, for whatever reason it is. So that means that the same fund can be mobilized for your development, for your agriculture, to create jobs, to finance entrepreneurs, finance those who have noble ideas, for different kinds of things. I really believe, as an Ethiopian, in mobilization, and that's what our history has been. Look at our grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and that's because of mobilization and selling bonds, and local people have bought and built that without any loan and fund from outside. And the same mobilization has helped us as well, Ethiopia, for all those, wars we have been fighting against colonialism. That's why Ethiopia has, was able to stand without being colonized. So the power of mobilization is something really we have to take from this. And I hope others also will follow, like Niger and Mali and other African countries as well. When we come together and if there is this noble idea, a common goal that is shared by, the leader and also the people, the nation, then that's it, it can happen. Thank you very much, for tuning in, and let us know in the comment section, what do you think of this achievement by the Burkina Faso government, or this Patriotic Support Fund, mobilizing 175 billion CFA franc, or around 275.1 millions of dollar. Please share your thought. Support us through our PayPal account and buy me a coffee link. You can find it in the description section. Share the video with others if you find it informative enough, and subscribe to the channel. That way, you can support us. That was it for me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.